Welcome, Leo, to your October 2020 reading. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If this is the first time you've tuned in, please know that I give you the opportunity to get a free mini reading for all people who are new to subscribe to my channel. So if you've got a question about this particular reading or something that this reading doesn't cover, just click the subscribe button and ask your question in the comments below. Or if you'd like to keep it out of the public forum, you can email me and I'll be happy to shuffle my cards and answer you in private. If you're already a subscriber, you can also purchase private readings from me as well. Now, let's get started. So, happy Halloween for all of you people that follow Halloween in your country. I hope it's a wonderful time and you can start to enjoy this horrendous year that we've all had. But let's get into your particular reading, I should say. So, you start out with the Page of Cups. Now, all pages are messengers, and the Page of Cups is absolutely no different. And it talks about, for those of you that aren't involved in a relationship, it actually is quite exciting because it really is a messenger about love. And it can mean that there's a new relationship brewing for some of you. And it can also mean that a relationship is moving to that next level as well. So if you're in an existing relationship, I can see you've got the marriage card there as well. So this could mean that you are actually going to be getting married or moving on to that deeper, more sound, strong structure in a relationship. But I'll go into that marriage card a little bit later on. Now, this, the Page of Cups sort of not only talks about new relationships and that kind of thing, it actually just is, just love letters and love messages and really emotional messages as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be from your partner or a love interest, but it can be just communication with emotion, that, it just talks about just messages about feeling good, so to speak. And it can also mean if you guys are into this kind of, if you guys are also intuitive, it can mean a deepening of your intuitive experiences, or even an increase in your natural skills if you also read tarots or are an astrologer or into that kind of stuff as well. Now, you then have the King of Swords. Now, this can be the person that you will be getting love letters from to and fro. But the King of Swords is really, if you need a little bit of advice, the King of Swords is a really good person to go to if you are needing advice. And it talks about that as well. Like the King of Swords, actually, it can represent a person, so an air sign, a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarian. But this card does talk about advice, and this can be going either way. So someone can be needing your advice, or you yourself are needing a little bit of advice as well. And when the King of Swords shows up, it really is the opportunity that you can get assistance that you need from the people around you. So you know, the King of Swords is a brilliant communicator, and they're quite a perfect mediator as well for any dispute, and they're quite level-headed. And sort of intellectual and career orientated. So if you've got any issues about career or that sort of stuff, they're a great person to go to, but just a good person for advice. They can really sort of look at something unemotionally and give you a nice direction to go in. And you know, they'll speak the truth to you as well. So if you're going to them, they're going to kind of say it straight. They're not going to beat around the bush, so to speak. Now, another thing with this King of Swords is this card kind of talks about making a decision, and it sort of requires you, if you are required to make a decision in October, you've got to kind of balance out both wisdom and so sort of your mind and your heart as well. Sometimes, you know, you can either just think about it and go what your thoughts are. Other times you go from your heart. But this one is kind of requiring you to balance both aspects of yourself to make any important decisions that are coming up for you in October. Now, also, if you are considering any further education, or even this card can represent the military as well. So I don't know, that's obviously going to be a specific message for some people, but there could be a standstill for some of you when it comes to your education or furthering your career a little bit, or potentially even a relationship. But you are, if you are required to make any decision on any of those areas of your life, just think carefully, listen to your heart, and then proceed to make the decision from there. Now, you have the Hangman, and the Hangman can talk about kind of a temporary pause when it comes to particular areas of your life. Now, this for you can be related to a relationship. There is a pause in terms of where it is that you want to go next. It can also relate to work for some of you as well, your career. But it's only a temporary pause when the Hangman comes up. It's almost like giving you the opportunity to take that time where things that seem like they aren't going in any direction for you, and really assessing the situation and assessing the next step for you. And allowing you the time to review your plans as well, and make sure that what you've kind of learned up to this point hasn't created a need to just change your strategy in any way. So, also another thing with the Hangman is the Hangman asks you to look at certain situations from a different perspective. And you know, sometimes when you try to fit into a certain situation, it isn't really a good fit for you. You're changing yourself to try and make you fit in and make things work, but it's better, things are better served for you if you show the world who you really are. And even if that's a little bit quirky or different to the status quo and everyone else, it's better just to be yourself in any particular situation in your life, whether it is in relationships or to do with your work. So that's just kind of like a side note as well. Now, the Four of Wands, the marriage card. So this is a card where it's such a wonderful time in your life. And, you know, to do with work, it's like when you've really been rewarded for a good job that you've done, and, you know, you feel comfortable, you're in an abundant situation, and, you know, there's peace and there's a promise of joy around you, and sort of the fruits of your labors have been widely acknowledged, and as deservedly so, because you put so much work and effort into it, they've been appreciated as well. And you're feeling a sense of stability coming into your life in October. And it can also mean just a time to focus on the joys of your home life. And as I said, this can mean getting married, starting a family, building a home, just really having a sound structure around you. And as I mentioned, I am getting dual messages here. So for some, this is work. For others, this actually is their literal home life as well. You know, you can be building stable structures in a work family, but for others, it's quite emotional, and it is that family structure around you. Now, and sometimes it's all, you know, it's everything. It's both. It's building that family structure, building a strong work environment as well. So you could be doing it all in October. But also another thing that this card talks about is showing gratitude for the people around you, and the universe and your angels as well. You know, say thank you for this joyous time in your life. It really is. It is going to be wonderful. I'm seeing some wonderful times for you in October. Now, also, I guess another thing that's going to make October feel a lot better is you are actually making a decision to leave a painful part of your life behind. And you've kind of come to the realization that there is, you know, it's kind of, you've reviewed the past and you've decided to make a change. And if you've been feeling a little bit restless and the things that kind of fascinated you in the past don't fascinate you anymore, and you're yearning for something a little bit more meaningful, and you want to have a life that's rewarding emotionally and spiritually as well, you are really going to choose to move on and change your situation. And that can be painful sometimes to make that choice, and it can even bring about sadness, particularly if it refers to ending a relationship that you aren't happy in, or changing jobs and moving on to something new, making a new stable structure somewhere else. But it's something that is necessary, so you can really be who you know you're meant to be deep down inside. So if you've been living in a life where you just aren't happy the way you are really going to be making those decisions to change, and you're going to just leave that part of you behind and move on to that next the next wonderful journey. And for the cards coming up, the Fool and the Magician, wow, the Fool is the start in the tarot journey. It is the start, and you are absolutely going to be on a new journey in October. There's kind of that, you're turning your back on that time, the things that don't fulfill you, and you're going to be starting a new journey. Now, this can be to do with work. I am seeing the Three of Pentacles there, and the Three of Pentacles is that card where you have really, it's a card of great craftsmanship. So your work is impeccable. You've got such a high standard in your work, and you've even, you may have received awards or, as I said previously, accolades, or you might have even been offered promotions. So this can be that new start as well. You might have been promoted to a new role in your company. You're leaving that other stuff behind, taking the skills that you've learnt from that, taking the skills that you've learned from that and really applying them in this new role. But it's a card of immense activity and creativity as well. And you really got passion for this in this new role, I feel. And it's almost like if you are changing roles or positions, changing companies, you're really going to sail to the top of your profession. You're going to get to where you need to go. There's not going to be any more barriers or standstills for you in this new role. And it talks about outstanding teamwork as well, like working together in a tight-knit group, and you're really going to get recognition for a good group effort as well. But as I mentioned, the Fool card. So if you are going to be taking on a new role, there is that new beginning, the new journey. And this kind of is almost a mirror to the Hangman, where you've been feeling this pause and feeling like you're not actually going anywhere. The Fool talks about starting afresh. And it also talks about taking that leap of faith. So if you've been thinking about things, if you've been using the time of the Fool of the Hangman to really reassess where you are in life and what you've been doing, the Fool sort of says to you, take that leap of faith. You can do this. And you're going to have unexpected opportunities that will present themselves. And it's going to offer you endless possibilities for creating something wonderful in October. And it could be that you just find a new project that you've got a lot of passion for. And it's also talking about your own development and growth as well. That can be your project. You're going to look inwardly and really make some changes with yourself. But if you've got any issues or any problems, they're going to be resolved in creative ways. So really, this card is a promise of hope, and it's just this freshness, and it kind of leads into the Magician, where you are in a position to actually create your own reality now. You have all the tools you need there in front of you. If you look at the imagery on the card, he's got the cup, the sword, the pentacle, and the wand. He's got everything. And the Magician is the one that, you know, you've got, it kind of is that message that you've really got everything you need to move forward onto that next project, that next job, that new relationship. It's almost like you've got the gifts and the talent to be all that you want to be. And it's, if you've got this, if you're feeling like you're lacking some key element or some bit of knowledge in order to be successful, it just isn't true, because the Magician absolutely says it's not true. You've got everything you need. It's right there. And you know what? Everything you need will magically appear as well. So if you're feeling like you're lacking, you're going to find that whatever it is that you're thinking you don't have is going to magically appear and reveal itself to you, and you are going to find out that you have everything you need. You are going to be able to do exactly what it is you want. And, you know, it doesn't mean that you, when you see the Magician, it doesn't mean that your accomplishments are guaranteed. You are just being told that you can choose to do anything that you want because you have the tools. And you might also be looking for someone to give you some guidance. And this could be where the King of Swords comes in to really give you some clarity in any particular direction that you might need to be going in. But if you're already clear about the path that you want to be on, then the Magician kind of says to you, no more procrastination, you know, it's time to go for it. Magical things are going to be happening, but you've got to take that first step. So, really seeing some exciting things for you in October, Leo. Some really nice cards. Now, your final card is Making a Difference. Now, this is such a beautiful card, and I was guided to this deck of cards. It's quite new, and the imagery is so simple yet so lovely, and it really allows so many intuitive messages to come through. So if you can focus on this card, and if any messages do come through, and that's true for all of the cards as well, that's why I zoom in on them so you can see them. If you do see certain things in any of the cards that speak to you in a specific way, they are significant messages for you personally. But I'll read the meaning of this card. So this card has the mantra, my inner light shines far and wide. So you are making a difference in the lives of others in ways that you may not even know. Many benefit because of you. Your light radiates far and wide. The universe wants you to know sometimes the smallest actions can have the greatest impact. Perhaps it's a smile shared with a stranger, a kindness extended to an acquaintance, or a favor done for a friend. This is akin to the story about the man who returns beached starfish to the sea. Although he knows that he cannot possibly save them all, he continues to work because it makes a difference to a few he can save. You can and will change lives. Take steps today that will make a difference in the life of another. That's really lovely. And this can relate to perhaps turning your back on something and moving in a direction that truly feeds your soul. I feel like you are that helping hand for a lot of people anyway. But if you want to choose a career that is more in line to something that really feeds your soul, this is the opportunity in October to make those changes and really go for what it is that you want to go. Start that new journey and move on to that amazing new life. So I hope that resonates with you, Leo. Please leave comments below and let me know how these resonate for you. Don't forget, I do offer those free mini readings if you're interested. And if you're into crystal jewelry, check out my website at kazana.com.au for all of the beautiful one-off pieces that I have there, made in Australia by an Australian designer, and all the meanings of those crystals are there as well. So have a wonderful October, beautiful Leos. See you next month. Bye, love you.